Now, this is not an IBM video. This is really from Kaiser Preventive, which is a US healthcare service provider. And you can find this video from YouTube. So go and look for that. But behind that is all powered by IBM. So we are a partner for Kaiser Preventive for a long, long time. So if you're looking at the IT industry, it has 4 waves of technology. Back in 1960, IBM invented the first computer, System 360, back in 1964. As a matter of fact, this year is our 50 years anniversary for mainframe. Still alive. Well and alive, very strong. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Fortune 500 companies are betting the business on mainframe, still betting the business on mainframe. Now, then in 80s, there is a client and server introduction of the PC. Now we can have computing back at home, a big change. Then in 90s, then we have the World Wide Web. Suddenly all the e-business all coming. Now in the 2010, this is really the most exciting time. It's a new era of computing that I'm going to talk about. And sometimes I refer that as cognitive computing. So I'm going to talk about what that is. But before I do that, okay, actually in the cognitive computing era, there are 3 trends. Number 1 is really data. Lots and lots and lots of data. So let me give you some statistics. So if you're looking at 2005, there was 1.3 billion RFID. By 2010, it was already reached 30 billion RFID tags. Almost 25 times in 5 years. Really fast. Did anyone send an email today? Anyone? Tell me, anyone has sent? Wow, almost everyone. You know, every day there's more than 200 billion emails were sent. I don't think that was the case 10 years ago. How many mobile phones? 4.6 billion mobile phones. It's amazing. I have 2, one for US, one for here. Trade. You probably trade or use WeChat or whatever. 12 terabytes of data on trading every day. And Google processing greater than 30 petabytes of data. And then if you're looking at all the digital information, in 2010, there is 988 exabytes. Now, a lot of people are going to say, I'm not a computer nerd, forget about all those bytes. So let me tell you in other words about all those bytes, okay? Terabytes. 1 terabyte. If we cut down 15,000 trees and build and make all those paper and print words on it, then it equivalent to 1 terabyte. 50,000 trees making paper, lots and lots of data. Petabyte. And 2 petabytes is all US academic research report, everything. That's 2 petabytes. And I just talked about no, that's petabytes. And I say 288 exabytes. How big is that? So if you're going to stack up all those, I say all the digital information as bolts, from Sun to Pluto and back. That is 988 exabytes. So essentially that's a lot. So with so many information, and all those information is multimodal, not just only text, some of them are image, audio, video, all the cameras that come in, all the cell phones, multimodals, all this information. all coming. How can you really make sense of all this data? You watch the video, it's because all this data, we utilizing all the data and make it into smarter, more intelligent. That's the part that we are talking about, is with cognitive computing. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard about the Deep Blue. Deep Blue? Yeah, quite a few of you. So back in 1997, IBM has a Deep Blue supercomputer, not even supercomputer, Deep Blue, but it was considered as part of that. It's made of a lot of processors, RS-6000, all built together, and go and play chess with the world champion from Russia, and won in 1997. Then in 2011, we have another computers that based on power, quite a lot of them, and then we play Japanese. How many of you have heard about the Japanese game? Quite a few. So it's been a US game on words, question and answer, give you an answer, you ask a question. And then we go and won the two more than 10 times champions on the Japanese. Then you go and say, wow, IBM, what are you doing? You just build all those computers that play games. But actually, IBM did build a lot of chips that play games. But actually a lot more than that. So from 2011 till now, we utilizing Watson into go and get them into more use, more practices. So invention now get into innovation. So what do we do? One thing that we do is partner with Kaiser, partner with many other hospitals, healthcare service provider, and utilizing all that knowledge from Watson to go and help the doctors to make better decisions. So yeah, because if you're looking at how Watson winning, the Japanese game, is because all the knowledge that Watson has. As a matter of fact, Watson can process 1 million books per second. It's not brute forcing, it has memory. It remembers all the things it learned, and it can be trained. It learned. When the first Watson system was built, it was very lousy. It would go and did really, really poorly on the Japanese. But then it trained, and then it learned, and it knows that how confident the system will know how confident Watson is. Then you say, okay, I have 99% confidence. This is the answer. Or I'm only 40% confidence. And then you make a mistake, and you will learn from the mistake. Very, very powerful. So with all that, so we make Watson system applying to healthcare. We make Watson system applying to finance. We make Watson system applying to a lot of question and answer industry, like for example, call center, or anyone have a question about something. Then we call it advisor, engagement advisor. And we make Watson, actually, we are open up Watson. Have a Watson ecosystem, and IBM is investing over $1 billion from now. This year, we are announcing we investing over $1 billion on Watson to go, on Watson on the analytics side, and also give out 100 million. It can be to anyone, or venture capitalists, that they go and take Watson, we open up the API, and you think about, okay, what is exactly the next thing I want to utilize Watson to solve a very challenging solution. So we open it, we call that Watson ecosystem. Okay, watch the space. It's going to announce very soon. So first trend is with lots and lots of data. How to utilizing all those data, analyzing all those data, and that will go and build new business. It can go and build new solutions. The second trend is cloud. You know, we mentioned about back in 80, we have client server and PC. PC is still not that, you know, you still have to be a programmer, or you still, you know, have to write program and all that to use it. But cloud, make it even easier and more economic and scale. So we think that cloud is another technology that will be a game changer. Now IBM investing in SoftLayer, acquired SoftLayer company. So if you talk to many of the business leaders, they will go and say the first thing that they will say they worry about using cloud is security. You know, you heard about people hacking and get all their credit card information, and you heard about people hacking into your system, getting your address book, and then sending all those emails using your ID. Endless story. So we heard from our customers, security is really the major concern. They love the economy side. They love the one very easy to use, rapid deployment of the application solution. All that is good. Security is a concern. And SoftLayer was a company actually that's formed 10 years ago. And when they got formed the company, they really based on enterprise customer. They go and focus on security, focus on compliance, risk management. That really make it a differentiation. So as a matter of fact, today the SoftLayer has 50% of the application on iPhone runs on SoftLayer. Very significant. I think it's significant. And as a matter of fact, our CEO is also saying we're investing another $1 billion this year on the cloud. This quarter, we're going to have our cloud center in Hong Kong open sometimes in March. And we're going to open another one in China sometimes in summer. I think that is really terrific. That's a game changer. The third trend is engagement. It's really the social networking, the mobile, the way that we go and do business now using our mobile phone. I can really go and do almost everything on my mobile phone. And as a matter of fact, in Africa, the mobile phone is their ID. The mobile phone is the wallet. Very powerful. So, now, all this information, engagement, no longer I'm the one who will making a decision. I can engage many other people to help me to make that decision through social networking. Extremely powerful. Now when you go to shopping, you can go and scan on the barcode, and then you can go and ask and find out where is the cheapest price for that particular goods. That is really very extremely powerful with the mobile, with the social networking. You know, if you go to LinkedIn, for example, you will see all those people giving me references. Wow, that's very powerful, right? Now you can go and see if all the people come in and say, this is a database expert. That must be true. Rather than go and I put in my reference that may be my friend, my good friend, you may not trust. All this collaboration, social engagement, and mobile is really the game changer of the technology of the new era. Now, of course, we IBM also focus on security in all this area. I'm really worried about my mobile phone because I have my banking all over there. I have too many information. I have my entire address book over there, not just only my email. If someone go and take it, or if I drop left it in a restaurant or in a taxi, that would be a big trouble. Not for IBM. So, as a matter of fact, my phone has installed software from IBM. If I drop it, I go and tell IBM. They will go and erase my information so that even other people pick it, they cannot see anything from me. Of course, there's also password protected and all kinds of things. So we have a very good end-to-end thinking. Security is always in our gene, in our blood, which is extremely important. A lot of people take it, for granted, but once things happen, then you know why, how, and this is very important. Okay. So, in summary, the future, I think, is very bright. This is really the time, just like a gold mine, when everyone rushes to the US to go and pick up the gold. This is a time that you can rush and pick up the gold. It's everywhere. You just have to understand and utilize it. Data, cloud, engagement, which also means mobile, social networking. So with that in mind, Go is everywhere for you to pick. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm just blown away by that video. I mean, is that actually working, up and running now, this kinds of
Oh, no, this is future healthcare.
Well, when can we actually see things like this happening? You're teasing me. I mean, that's wonderful. Wouldn't it be great to have it anywhere in the world? But, I mean, like you said, you went through, you could go for finance, trade, blah, blah, blah. But when will we actually see this, in our daily lives?
Okay, well, one at a time. So right now, as I mentioned that we have a very strong knowledge base on oncology. That included many kinds of cancer, almost all kinds of cancer, all the common cancers. Lung cancer, we talk about how bad the air in Beijing got going also to Hong Kong, that you should be worried. So, but then if you have a Watson, you may feel a little bit better because we have a lung cancer, deep knowledge in the Watson system. So we have really looked into the cancer part that now we would like to partner with some of the customer and trying to go and let's see how it all works together. So it's sort of like practical training time.
Right. When I was speaking with Eric Schmidt of Google, we were in an auditorium similar with people like this, as well as incubators, people who had startups and stuff, and it was often raised to him that it was great. Each one had a fabulous idea, they had startup capital and so on, but they couldn't make it that second step, that step that would take them from incubator stage to actually having a big company say, okay, you have a great idea, I'm going to invest in you. How do people like that bring that idea stage, whether it's invention or whatever, into actually practically making money and actually selling the idea, making it useful?
Very good question. As a matter of fact, IBM has many inventions, and you may not heard about all those things. But I think now we are changing the culture. Okay, so we really focus a lot more on what we do is to be, we should use what we build what people should use. Okay, so we really changing from all the aspects, like for example in research, I spent also several years as a head of the research. So we make the world is a lab. We go and partnering with all those customers right from the beginning. And as a matter of fact, many customers come in and tell us that this is our problem. can you help us? Now, I'll give you one example. You might laugh at that. There is, okay, I'm not going to mention about the name, but there is a chocolate manufacturing company. They were really worried because all those chocolate made from cocoa, and they only grow along the equator. And that cocoa tree is getting smaller and smaller, the forest of the cocoa tree getting smaller and smaller because of some infection. So they come and ask IBM, so IBM, can you help? So we gotta help them. We have all kinds of scientists, really good scientists. So we help them, and we're collaborating with also all the university, because we may not be only the best one. We probably very strong in computer, maybe there's some other one, very strong in some other thing. Actually, we are very strong in DNA sequencing. You may not know, because we have supercomputing. So we all work together and really doing DNA sequencing for the chocolate, for cocoa. And so that company was never an IBM customer. After that collaboration, they are an IBM customer.
Well, good for you. Sam was mentioning earlier, he wanted this to be proactive, interactive. If there are any questions for Josephine, any things you'd like to raise with or share, aside from trying to sell your company to IBM, please raise your hand. Yes, can we get a mic to you?
Hi. So thanks for the talk later. When you say that Watson's API will be open, does it mean open to everyone? Or there's certain limitations, or you're not sure yet?
Okay, so we do have components on the Watson that will have API, and we will have a Watson ecosystem and have people to go and register, and we choose who are the people, and then we'll give them. You can also ask IBM for money, because we have put in 100 million over there, US 100 million. And so I think it will be announcing pretty soon, so you can go and apply for it. Now, why we don't just open up everything? We have to have people to apply, and we have to hand-holding some of those people, how to go and utilizing the free components in order to build your own business. Because we build many of our business, like I mentioned about the finance, the call center, question and answer call center, healthcare, and so on. So we want to open up for many other industries. And so we have a process for people to apply. And so maybe, watch out from the www.ibm.com website from time to time. It should be soon.
Okay, any other questions? Yes.
I'm Benny. My company is a small cloud company. Okay, and I heard you talk about one of the key technology features, the cloud, right? So please forgive me, or I'm sorry that if the question I'm going to ask is a bit embarrassing to IBM. Please forgive me. Okay, so as far as I know, the idea of cloud, or the technology of cloud, was in fact derived from some of the research in IBM. It's a grid computing, right? So as I understand, IBM should be an earlier pioneer in this kinds of technology. But however, as we look back nowadays, in terms of the market share or whatever, the most key player now in the cloud area, I would say is more on the, like Amazon, or another kinds of business, like Microsoft's catching up, and also Google. So it's the theme in terms of market share. Okay, so so I wonder why IBM is good at enterprise level, I believe, and nowadays that IBM also acquired a third other company, outside company, Software, which is also a very good cloud company. So why IBM research cannot take the lead at the early beginning to capture these kinds of materials?
Sorry, Ben, is that right?
So what it means is why IBM have been a pioneer on the cloud technology, but now it seems the landscape is not really favored IBM.
So, well, we make mistake. So this is not really the first time we make mistake, but we learn smarter. For me, I'm from the relational database. IBM also invented the relational database, but IBM is not the first one who delivered the relational database. The first one to deliver is Oracle. They took IBM idea, they took IBM, the system algo, and they're going to make it into a product. We go and say, let's go and make it perfect, robust, before we go into the product. And I was behind to make the system algo, which is a research prototype, into very robust. So that is really IBM culture. Everything that we do is really 100% perfect, then we go and sell it. Now, there is changes over time. Not that we don't make it perfect. We still do make it perfect. And when you mention about the cloud, this part, so yes, we were really behind. But once we acquired the soft layer and put in all the investment, we also put in another $1 billion investment, building another 10 data center around the world. And actually, we already have 30 data centers around the world. Adding 10 more will be 40 data centers around the world. If you read IDC, which is a consultant on IBM technology and on the cloud, we are very high on the upper corner because on the research, on the acquisition, and all that we do. And another thing, a couple of things I feel very strong and about IBM Cloud in the future is a couple of things. One is that the soft layer that we acquire is really based on enterprise level, based on compliance, reliability, security. That is different than any other that you will see. And then the second one that I feel extremely happy is that we really well align our software, our hardware division, research division, and services division, all aligned to IBM's strategy, the three strategies that I talk about: data, cloud, engagement. They're all well aligned. So you will see that there is an organization all focused on cloud, from research, from software side, from services side, from hardware side. So first time I ever seen that consistent. So I think we will be really the winner.
Okay, good answer. By the way, it's not always good to be a pioneer because they get shot by the Indians, so for American.
Oh, actually, you probably have worked at IBM always catch up. We may not be the pioneer, but we're always a winner.
Good question. By the way, what company do you work for?
Rice Station. This is one of the company under the just graduate from the Fine Art incubation.
Right. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah. Catch my eye, raise your hand, catch his eye,
Yes,
raise your
the gentleman
hand.
in
There's
black.
one up there.
One of the mentors. One of the mentors.
Man, it takes me a while to walk up.
Hi. I've got two questions for you. One is chocolate safe? Are we going to still have it?
Oh, definitely.
Well, thank you for that. That's
Otherwise, my daughter will hate me.
Good. The second question that I've got is, you mentioned one of the pillars were engagement or social. Now, I believe social, because of all the transactions going on, and you gave some examples, collects a huge amount of consumer behavior data and also consumer decision data. How do you see this shaping business in the future? Can you kind of elaborate on that for us?
Yeah, so that is really very exciting too. Okay, now actually Watson, another application that I haven't mentioned, is very focused on that. focus on marketing, really focusing for all the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. So it is just like what you say, doing all those consumer behavior, understanding consumer behavior, go and calling around the whole world, understanding all the Facebook, people talks in the Facebook or anywhere, trade and everything, understand the entire world, how people feel. And so that product is really arising. A lot of CMO, what should they do for the future products? So we do have one of the application on Watson focusing on the engagement advisor. But it's really very exciting.
Right, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ian, and I met a few IBM heroes, Bob Evans, John Beckett, E.F. Cott, and of course there's one called Leonard Liu, used to be a Santa Teresa research lab. Anyway, the question I have is, and John Cockey, and when you're doing sales or marketing, it's push and pull. And you are doing pull by your IBM name and your data centers. But how do you do the push to the, not the big enterprise, but the small and medium companies? How do you do the push?
Very good question. So a lot of, you are asking the business side, which is me, not the technology side. I'm the CTO. But anyway, I try to answer that. A lot of times we really rely on our business partner or channels to go and reach a lot of small and medium customers. So I'm relying on the small and medium, the business partner and channels.
But the cost of sales is, doesn't jive the numbers. We do it this way.
Actually, if I can just step in, I was having dinner with her business colleague earlier this week who also flew down from Shanghai. I think it's scalable, and they had a $500 card that you can tap into this. It can be launched in March, but basically it's scalable, so you don't have to be a huge company to use this, as I understand.
Oh, thank you.
Saved by Sam.
So content can also come from our audience. Let me ask a question. Two questions, actually. One, being female in a male-dominated world, especially technology, just tell us a couple of stories. What challenges have you faced? I'm sure there must have been plenty. First question. Second question, China's emerging. Everyone's eyes are on China. But do you foresee a day in 10 years' time when China will lead the world in terms of technology innovation? Certainly does for its economy, but globally it does not.
Oh, very good question. I have to disappoint you on the question number one. Since I am really come from technology, so I'm always meeting all the people talking about technology. So when you go and meet all those people, mostly guys, it's really the technology talks. It's a code, and we write code talks. It's not really whether you are female or male. So I remember when I first joined IBM, I had never thought of I would be an IBM fellow. Very simple, I just want to do my work. So I always come and go and talk to my leaders, go and talk to my second line manager, third manager, why don't we do this, why don't we do that? Sometimes they shut me up, they say, don't go and say that, it will destroy your career. And then I go and think about it, and then I come back again. So I don't see that there's any difference because I'm a female or male. First of all, I don't embarrass. If someone say no, then I go and ask again. and so maybe because I came from a very large family. My elders, the three of them are brothers, and the one follow me is also brother. So I kind of get used to it. You know, whatever they do, I say, I can do that too. So I really cannot go and tell whether because I'm a female that I get any disadvantage. So I'm really disappointed. I don't see that as a hurdle.
I think this sounds great. It's not normal, but it's not.
And you did throw an Asian, by the way. Asian female in a big multinational company.
So, but I think I'm lucky to come in the time that to join IBM, which is really a good corporate citizen. As a matter of fact, IBM is the first company that get equal pay for men and women. Yeah, it's the first company before even. Thank you. And IBM is also consecutively, many years, chosen as the best company to work for working mother. So many, you know, all those awards that really go and make IBM a very good company for women. So when I first joined IBM, actually I found that there's a lot of help that go and give me access to opportunities. So which is very important. You know, let me go and try. You know, don't go and say that you don't fit. You know, let me go and try all that. But also my personality, I don't wait. I go and knock at other people's door all the time. So I think that probably make a difference. And then the second question that you asked about China, I think China is already very innovative. I think China is the first country that are all interconnected with high-speed train. US is not like that. So it's already a technology leader in some cases. So can China become really the technology leader in the world? I think yes. However, I think the people need to think bold and big. You know, I find that in China, the culture is still top-down. Right? If you're looking at the US, it can be top-down and it can be bottom-up. But you don't see that in China. There's no bottom-up. It's always top-down. So if you have a wrong guy in the top, you are doomed.
Okay, have you seen that happen? No names mentioned, of course.
But China is
So yes, the answer is yes. I mean, you know, I know the gentleman wants to ask a question. I'm just going to, while on a roll, we talk about China. We can go on about China for hours. We think about security issues. We think about quality issues. Very basic issues. So when we talk about technology, where do those two main issues fit in for you? Since now you're based in Beijing, you work in China, you know, where do you see that fit in? Do you see that as constraints, or?
When you say quality, you mean the air quality?
No, that's really that too. We were talking about that. Quality control.
Oh, quality control for the product?
Yeah, for products or new technologies, things that come up. Do you find that as constraints for China?
Oh, so for China in general, right? I think over time, then people will go and learn more. And I have seen that in China, it has built up standards in certification and built up standards so that it's more focused on quality. But if we learn, you know, like for example, actually, I think, you know, this may be also an opportunity. Why not? There's not many regulations in China, so this is an opportunity that you can get into anything until they put in the regulation. Such as Alipay. They're doing banking, but they're not under regulation. Right? So I think this is an opportunity that you can go and think you have a bright idea, then let's go and try it before the regulation comes up.
And then go to jail after that. Okay, never mind. We won't go into that. Okay. Sorry, so go ahead.
Actually, there's one, Josephine, there's one thing that we all should like to comment and compliment you on. That is not just being an Asian woman or Chinese woman to rise to that position. As I understand, you are the first non-PhD that runs a prestigious research lab.
There was another question here, was that? Oh, go ahead. And then we'll get to you, sir.
I was curious, what are you doing to deal with the existing security issues in the cloud and to strengthen that and to follow that? When do you think there will be absolute consumer confidence in the cloud technology?
Okay, this is really an hour, more than an hour discussion on the cloud security. And actually, I'm not a security expert. But IBM do have a lot of security experts that go and look into the cloud security, and you can go and find, or read some of the documents. And so I cannot really elaborate a lot more in detail about the cloud security. But go and look at the website and find some more.
What about consumer confidence in it as a product? When do you think it'll reach a level where all customers will kind of view it as, the same deal as an email, like they have that much confidence in it as a product?
Okay, so I think that is a very good question. Right now, a lot of people just go and do it because it's convenient. Not until that, someone hack, then you will be very nervous. Wow, now suddenly my retirement fund disappear. I will be really worried, right? So, but you don't want to be something like that. So I always advise, so right now it's really quite troublesome because I receive a lot of emails from my friends and relatives, and then it talks about something and then it has a link. I'm so scared to click on that link because I don't know whether that is really from them. A lot of the times it's not from them, right? And so I told them that, hey, you should have two computers. One for all the, all the things you want to do, one for seriousness. And maybe have two IDs, one for seriousness and one for, all the other things that you want to play, right? So I think this is really very troublesome. A lot of times people don't know. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, right? But then for IBM, I mentioned about, like the mobile part, we really build up all the walls. In the cloud, actually, we also do very secure on all the components. And I mentioned about the strength of software is really compliance. So we're really doing many very strong auditing and audit trail so that you can trace everything back. So it gives you really a sense of, a secure environment that you can bench your key business, which is very, very important.
So how do you get that message across to somebody like him? That secureness.
Get that message secure. I can send you a lot of email from the newspaper, like Target, credit card got all hacked, all those kind of things. And then from time to time, my credit card also go and say, oh, there's a potential people misuse your credit card. I issue you another one. And I said, please don't, because I have all the automatic deduction.
Auto pays,
auto pays and all that. I have to redo all that. It's so much trouble. But they say, well, we think that someone is using your credit card. Or you go to some restaurant that is a very, that place has been hacked. I receive that too often. I really find it really troublesome.
Did she answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think so, but okay.
But it's a yes.
Yes, you have a question out there?
No, you have one here, there.
Okay,
and-
that gentleman put his hand up, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to ask technology questions. You mentioned about, in the 60s, you have the IBM 360, which is central computing system. And then you have the client server, which is distributed. And then you have the web, and then now you have the cloud, which seems to me that it's going back to the centralized computing paradigms. Would you see that in the next phase, would you be another, switch back to the distributed paradigms again? Because,
Okay.
in the cloud environment,
Okay.
Let's say your data center, you have a power failure, then you can't access it anymore.
No. Okay, so I think that lots of confusion are over here. First of all, I say new era of computing is not equivalent to cloud. Cloud is only a component because it makes it more economic for people to go and do lots of things easier, okay? And then you go and say cloud is centralized. Not at all. Cloud can be hybrid cloud. You can have some data that is within your company, and there's some that is corporate. And even that, you can also have some that is within your company and some in the cloud that is private. So there are many combinations of cloud that can be not totally corporate. So the hybrid, private, corporate, and hybrid. And then even for cloud, it doesn't mean that it's centralized at one time, then it's done. That's why we have 40 global data centers. And it can be all 40 all around the world, and you can choose. Go and say, I have lots of business in Hong Kong. I want to have one in Hong Kong. And I have lots of business in UK, and then I have duplicated data in UK. And you can go and do whatever. You can still have distributed and duplicate data, duplicate cloud data. So not necessarily centralized. It can still be distributed, but it's virtual to you.
Interesting. Okay. Yes.
Okay, I have an easy one. It's a yes or no question.
That's
Okay.
anxious.
So recently, you know, this Edward Snowden thing kind of came out, right? And you're talking about this big data,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So suddenly you're sitting in your office and all of a sudden it comes out that a government who shall remain nameless was actually sucking up all this data.
Yes.
Were you surprised?
No. I think every country is doing it. Come on. China is not doing it. You think UK is not doing it? Give me a break. Everyone is doing it. As long as they have good governance, as long as they don't misuse it, as long as they can use it in the goods for the goodness, I have no problem.
Anybody can read your emails, no problem, right?
Everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
Everything when I go and send it from China, I think someone is reading my email. So I have no control. So why do I worry if I have no control?
Don't stress out.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Sam said yes.
I just want to ask you about what the potential modes of failures to deliver to your targets that you have in your pillar. Maybe hardware related, because I'm seeing a lot of replication in the servers. I see the connectivity on the ocean, that's broken down by earthquakes. I'm not sure whether that's all taken into account.
You're talking about a cloud, right?
Cloud and servers involved, yes.
Servers and all that. So anything can be failed, but if you go and choose a very secure hardware, you reduce the chance of failure. If you go and choose very secure software, you reduce the chance. And if you have very good services, you reduce the chance. That's why people come with IBM.
Okay, yes.
Hi, Josephine. Thanks for your sharing. And I actually have a thoughtful, suggestion or just an idea. And if we're afraid of cloud having security attacks or issues like that, why don't you ask Watson to identify loopholes for you? Is it possible? It's like a function master. Before seeing it happen, it will give you some advice, like, oh, you should probably avoid having this for the cloud server or using this program or the other one.
Yes, actually, Watson has, yes. My answer to that is yes. Cybersecurity is also a strength from research team. we're focusing on cybersecurity. And some people don't use it is just because of some company hesitant in using all that because of piracy, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is questions for yourself, Josephine, and other mentors in the audience. Is how do you see the role of Hong Kong as jumping a springboard going to China? For example, I'm representing a US-based company. I don't see any benefits for being in Hong Kong. Maybe you can comment a little bit on the IT side, and other mentors can comment a little bit on other industries. What are benefits for being in Hong Kong?
Right, wow. First time I heard that. Okay. Josephine, what do you think?
Well, this is my hometown.
Your heart's in Hong Kong, so.
Yeah. So I do feel that Hong Kong is still quite different than China, because Hong Kong has been really for so many years kept on the integrity. I think integrity is extremely important when you do business. Hong Kong respect IP rights, patents, integrity, and all that, which is really important. I think that is a differentiation for Hong Kong versus China.
Don't read the Hong Kong newspapers. They're all wrong. Hong Kong's fair. Okay, what about the mentors? Can we get one from the legal or?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the right forum, but very definitely in terms of Hong Kong versus China, and I don't know who was speaking up there, there's a big difference in tax rates. And so if you're saying you don't see the benefit, maybe at this point you're not making enough money to see the benefit.
Ouch! Ouch!
There's a huge difference, and in fact, in terms of international tax planning, there's really a lot of reasons to look at having a structure in Hong Kong that probably owns a structure in China. And I'd be happy to talk to anybody about that. I've spent 30-some years structuring for a US, Canadian, European company.
Yeah, there you go. Second row.
Can I say a few words?
Second row, she's on the second row.
I just want to supplement that by saying, obviously, Hong Kong still, have some kind of better legal or more transparent legal system. For instance, I tell you, in the media industry, a lot of publications put their website hosted in Hong Kong rather than in China. Obvious for the advantage of, to get less control or less interference.
Google did that, right? Google did that, yeah. The other mentors.
Any other comments? Okay, you're gonna make me run all the way up there.
Come on, Sam. Go on.
Getting some exercise.
Go on. Next time have all your mentors down here.
Well, first, I'd just like to go on the record and say that the day that a human can't hack a computer is the day that I get nervous, but that aside, okay? I do have a question. Maybe this is kind of a far afield type thing, but it's kind of interesting to me. Facebook, 1.2 billion people, probably almost the largest country in the world if you put all the people together. A couple of years ago, Google went up against China, and they kind of declared sovereignty, or kind of pushed that button a little bit. I'm kind of wondering, is there going to be do you see a time when maybe we have a nation that doesn't exist by boundaries that we see them now? And we have Bitcoin too, which is now kind of a currency that kind of flies about. So we're starting to see some really interesting changes in the way people think about how they connect with each other. You see that happening? Or what is your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely it's happening more with the internet, with all that connection. However, I think that is still differences for each country because of each country may have a different regulation, different law, that you may need to have customization. For example, McDonald's is different here, certain things that is different here than in US, and the McDonald's in China even have hamburger with the rice instead of the bun. Yeah, so you need customization, you need localization that fit, the local community, and besides that also regulation and culture. So in some sense, I agree with your statement, but I think you still want to go and do it differently if you want to improve your business even further.
I mean,
So
how many people?
localization and customization is important.
Right. How many people here are into bitcoins anyway? Just out of curiosity. 1, 2. How much did you buy that? You didn't buy any? A little bit. Have you made money? Okay, good point. So go ahead.
Out of the three scenarios you described earlier, the cloud, the engagement, the data, and then they are all being able to be transferred to wealth, and so also the early video you showed that means people possesses this kind of convenience will live longer. This triggered me a question. Is that the case that people will get more information, will get more wealth, and then will also they will live longer? So in that case, the disparity between the rich and poor will sort of widen the situation, the scenario you see. I think it's kind of 20 years. Thank you.
So your question is whether the
disparity between the rich and poor and the privileged and underprivileged, the disparity will widen.
Correct. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
I don't think so. I think this technology will help the poor also. So, like for example, a lot of healthcare in China, doctors will not want to go to all those suburb types of area. So they do not have really good schooling, they don't have good healthcare. But if we go and have this kind of connection and Internet of Things and all this healthcare, virtualizing, all the information all connected, I think it can also help on the poor, helping the poor people also.
So if I understand you correctly, are you implying that kind of the future trend of the technology boom will kind of narrow the gap between the rich and the poor? Is the revised post-truth?
I'm not saying it will have to narrow or widen, but I think what I say is it will benefit both poor and rich. Whether it widen or not, there are many other factors, not because of the technology.
Okay, I think this is a good kind of politically justified issue answer. Thank you. Very politically justified. Thank you.
I do have maybe 2 technical questions, and maybe it's not enough time to answer. The first one is you talk about the cloud computing, the distributed database. First of all, when you have distributed database, that's a latency issue. And then when there's a latency issue and it's distributed all over the world, then there's one problem, is how the normalization has a problem. Slow, there's a latency problem. The second thing is how do you synchronize them? Because you cannot do it in is a multiple time zone. You cannot say a block at this time to synchronize it together. How do you synchronize it? So that's the second question. The third one is, I find it a bit confusing on your answer to that person in the back about the virus issue. As I understand AI and rule-based computing, is that you have to base it on past experience. A new virus, a new algorithm, which you have no experience, how can a rule-based system or a learn mode to recognize, to identify that, because it doesn't have that experience before? Thank you.
Okay, you're asking too many questions that I may forget. Okay, so if you look at the cloud computing, it doesn't necessarily mean that you distribute all the data all over the world and then you go and ask a question that is gather all the data around the world. In general, it's not like that. So if you go and ask, for example, on Google, Google, you get the answer pretty quickly. So because their data that is sitting closer to you, and their replicated data sitting closer to US, replicated data closer to UK, and so on. So you always get answer quicker. So your second question is how do you synchronizing all that information? So now, in terms of the distributed environment, then there is a new concept that all the other people are using. It's called eventually consistent. So it is very different than all the core banking that you want immediately consistent. If you go and transfer money from my bank account to my saving, I want to have it immediately, not eventually it will happen. But if you're looking at the distributed environment, it has a semantic. So there are things that you may not want to go and do it in the cloud computing.
Graph theory, just like graph theory, you just copy over for synchronizations.
That's a synchronization.
Yeah, for using the graph theory, basically.
I'm saying today with all the distributors, they do they rerun eventual consistency rather than synchronization. Versus a core banking want really consistency and immediately synchronization. So what I'm saying that is not true that there are applications that you should go and run in that cloud computing area. That's why there are some hybrid situation. Okay, now I don't quite understand your third question, but I have to go and say if I'm looking at the cognitive computing, when we talk about cognitive computing, actually it's really more like a brain. So when I was in Aberdeen, I do have a scientist, and he is still working on it, on really doing the brain simulation. So, and that actually could be the future, very exciting, and he's already getting there. So extremely exciting. So we have the left brain and right brain. The left brain is doing programming, logic. Everything is 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so you're very logical programming stuff. And the right brain is more perception, it's not logical, so like, the smell, the sensors, all that, that's the right brain computing. This one is the von Neumann computing, this one is not. Okay, so when we look into the cognitive computing, that we are really like the Watson system that we build. It's really not a graphical system, it's really a learning system that will go and learn from the mistake, learn and all that, which makes it really very powerful. And as a matter of fact, now we also, in the future, we are not there yet. So we will go and make Watson also maybe understand perception, maybe also doing reasoning. We're doing a lot more like what we do as a human. So you may be thinking far-fetched, something could have happened, but not next year.
I think we have 3 or 4 more questions, but I want to start the soft launch with start on time, end on time. And I know Lorraine has some wrap-up questions and comments. So I'm going to pass it back to Lorraine. Say, sorry, we'll have some questions out here as well, but I don't want to cut into our structured networking because none of you can leave. We're basically barricading the escalator until you have 10 cards and some refreshments. So Lorraine, back to you.
Thank you all very much for your questions as well, Josephine. Quickly before I let you go, we've talked a whole range of ideas here, but basically when you look at IBM or companies such as big as IBM, what would you say would be your biggest challenge from 2014 onwards now?
My biggest challenge. I think my biggest challenge may be, getting you guys all believe that IBM is really the future. We were 102 years old. How companies 102 years old. How many products are still 15 years old and still running all that? So I think it's definitely the future. So my challenge is me convincing all of you.
We